Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for mid-September 2025. You start here with this triangle card. It says choices and indecision on it. You have this old woman. It says sadness and female on it. So we'll have to take a look at what's going on for you here. And yeah, I feel a little bit of like breakthrough energy for you here, Aries. So, if you have been feeling stuck, it's like maybe that's where the sadness is coming from. You're feeling like a little bit stuck. And but I feel like some sort of breakthrough is what I'm trying to spit out here in this reading. So that is the good thing. The weird thing about eclipses is, I always say that, if you read any like old astrology books and things like that, they will describe eclipses, which we're going to have the Virgo eclipse on the 21st, right? So that's why I'm telling you this. Is that, a lot of these old books will say that eclipses are kind of like a 1-2 punch, where it's like sometimes, it's like something can happen that like at first you feel like isn't great, but then after it turns out to be great. And so I wouldn't even call it a blessing in disguise. It's just that, it's like sometimes something can happen where you're like, oh, this sucks, but then actually after you get the blessing. And so that's kind of what I feel for you here, Aries. You start with the Page of Pentacles. We're doing a Celtic cross, so this first card represents how you are entering into the reading. Page of Pentacles, actually pretty good. Like, I feel like you're really entering into the second half of the year, or this month. Obviously, we're already in the second half of the year, but, I think you're entering in to this part of the month with kind of like bright eyes. It's almost like you do have a little bit of hope and some inspiration. I'm wondering if you're, kind of like another weird message I'm getting off of that sadness card is that you're not reacting how you normally would, but like, I mean that in a good way. It's like sometimes, I think this is just, we call it maturity, right? Where it's like, maybe normally something that is going on would really upset you, but it's almost like you are changing your mind, which is good. I think we are in probably one of the best times to, work on our mindset ever right now. A lot of the astrology is really good for, mental work, but, in the sense of we could be working on blockages, things that have been holding us back, things that have been preventing us from being successful. We have all this air energy as well, Uranus retrograde in Gemini. We have Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. It's like all that mindset stuff would be very beneficial for you, Aries, and, probably help you the most. But it's almost like you just are. You just are kind of, thinking in these new directions. And I feel like that's what will help you have a little bit of a breakthrough this month. Your crossing energy is the Queen of Cups. The crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you in a Celtic cross. I feel that there is advice here that would help you, which is, to sit with yourself. She really listens to her heart. She's very intuitive and imaginative and things like that, but she really sits with herself and she decides how she feels about things. She has this big cup in front of her, and I always say that cup looks like a trophy, not really like a cup, So she really values what her heart is telling her to do. But, maybe you need to take some time to think about that, about what you want. I don't think enough people do this, I think that, we live in such a loud world, and definitely with Saturn in Aries, it is going to get very loud, right? There's going to be a lot of noise over the coming years. And so I think we all probably could benefit from taking some time to just listen to ourselves, listen to our heart, what we want out of life, where we want to go, all that other stuff. And I would just take the time to do it, like in any way that you can, meditation, walking, driving in the car, whatever it is. I would take that time. I think that will help you the most this month. Next, in the area of what's on your mind, you have this Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is good because this would say that you are probably feeling inspired. The Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. I feel that it is a good time for you to start something new, and just in life in general. And it literally could be anything. It could even be, a new health routine. It doesn't have to be anything all that important. But you are definitely one of the signs that I encourage probably the most to, except for Pisces, which is born right after you, right? Or before you, I should say. And, again, I would be doing something, working on something new, thinking about new things. Whatever you're feeling inspired to do, I would do it. I feel that the scary thing for Aries is that it's, you might have something right now that supports you, this old castle, right? And the Ace of Wands says, hey, your castle, your foundation, or not even your foundation, just something that's established is crumbling, and you're being inspired or asked to start working on something new. But but that in between time is a little bit scary, because it's like, it's almost like the universe is asking you to let go of security, or something that has provided security, but really it's trying to lead you to something that's going to provide even more security in your life. But it's like, have you ever seen, it's like, I was watching this video the other day. I think it was a guy cleaning windows, or like going over a building. And he was, first off, that's like a balls in your throat type of moment right there, right? And so, he was getting down on this, it looked like a swing, and he unclipped himself, and then he had to like clip himself back in, on the harness. And for a second there, he wasn't attached, and he was hanging, a million feet above the ground. And it's like, that is what I feel you could be feeling. It's like, if you're having to let go of one thing to create new security, it's like that you're clipping between two things, but you're like hanging above the ground for a short period of time. And I hope that makes sense. I also feel this could be where, again, I was getting the word breakthrough here, because I feel a lot of you, it's like, the Ace of Wands is inspiration. So we can get sudden, like, inspirational ideas, inspirational insights, especially you with Uranus and Gemini. I feel that you could be getting a lot of inspirations at this time, so I would be paying attention. Next, you have the Page of Cups in the area of your foundation. There is a little bit of love in this reading, so definitely if you want love, or if you already have it, if you already have love, you could be getting a lot of support from your partner. If you don't have love, there could be love coming in that is very supportive. I kind of feel this is talking about the next few months. Actually, next weekend, I'm going to be doing the next 3-month readings for the next 3 months. And so we'll see what comes up. But I kind of feel this is someone that is entering into your life. It's like they're not here yet, is what I feel if you're single. But there definitely could be love. The other thing is, I feel this is literally saying you need to ground your imagination. Ace of Wands, very imaginative as well, very creative. The Page of Cups, he's very dreamy. And, I always say that fish might not be real. We don't know. He might be dreaming of that fish. But all I know is that he needs to bring some sort of dream down to earth, which all your readings for the past year have been about you kind of really solidifying your dream, whatever it is, really going for it. Next, in the area of the past, you have this Grand Symphony card and this Beyond the Ordinary card. The Grand Symphony card is kind of like finishing something that you started, right? And the Beyond the Ordinary card says you are not meant to live an ordinary life. And I feel that's what you need to realize, is that, I feel maybe part of the other part of the challenge here for Aries is that there's maybe no one to compare what you're about to do to. Did that make sense? Was that proper English? I don't know. But it's like, sometimes I think in life, it's like we have people that we can look up to and we can say like, okay, this person did this, so I can do it. And then, you're using that person almost as an inspiration, right? I feel that really you're going to become your own inspiration here with these readings. And so that's what you need to realize. Even though this is coming up in a past position, doesn't really matter. I feel this is an energy that you're going to be working with right now. You have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is like this or that thinking. She's trying to protect her heart. And again, there is a very good heart-based energy in your reading. I feel that you are opening up your heart more. She's trying to protect her heart, obviously. But coming up in the past, it would say that you are opening your heart to new ideas, new directions, new things. And that's kind of what I'm getting here. Next, in the very near future, you have this Faithfulness card and this Hope card. Yeah, so there is a lot of hope in this reading for you, Aries. If you want love, I feel you're probably trying to attract a person that is faithful, of course. But I also feel this is saying that there are things in your life that you've always wanted. And it's like those are the things that I feel all of us should be committed to, is kind of like the constant things in our life, that, those dreams that we've always had, or the things that we've always wanted to accomplish. And I feel like the universe is trying to bring you hope and say, like, you absolutely can have these dreams, and you're not out of time as well. Again, with Saturn retrograding, you might feel like you're out of time, but you're not. Also, in the very near future, you have the Fool. So the Fool is about taking leap of faith. A lot of Fool energy in these readings. I kind of feel it's probably the eclipses. We had one on the 7th. We're going to have another one on the 21st in Virgo. And so, the eclipse energy can absolutely have us eclipsing things out of our life and can have us taking a leap of faith towards something new. And so, that makes sense. You also have this dog here, and just like on that faithfulness card, the dog on the the dog on the Fool represents like a companion and also represents loyalty as well. I kind of feel that this is talking about loyalty in both ways. Like, yeah, sure, you could be attracting a person who is loyal to you, which is great. But I also feel this is saying that there are things that you have been loyal to, as in they've always been a constant in your life. But it feels like a dream or something that you've been dreaming of having for a long time. And I feel like the Fool is saying, now is the time to take the leap of faith on whatever that dream is. Now is the time. It's like, this is where the rubber meets the road, right? This is where it's time for you to, make that full commitment to something that you're trying to accomplish. Sometimes I feel that the Fool represents being over-prepared for something because he has this tiny little sack on his back, and, he's about to go through the whole entire major arcana. He's about to go on this big, long journey. But that tiny little sack says he has everything he needs right here, right between his two ears. So I feel this is saying you're a little bit over-prepared. In your outcome row, you have this freedom card. It says released, unburdened, new beginnings. Definitely Ace of Wands, Fool, new beginnings. You have this discovery card. It says hidden talents, possibilities, and growth. Yeah, definitely a reading that is trying to show you all the possibilities, or, trying to show you your own possibilities, maybe, is a better way to put it. But you're going to have to, take the leap of faith to really experience these possibilities or to see what you're capable of doing here, Aries. Over the next few months, you have the Magician. Yeah, a lot of changes. I feel that you might be one of the signs that changes the most over the next few months. Again, you're going to have next year, Saturn moves back into your sign in February. Neptune will move back into your sign at the end of January, actually. And so, I feel that you are going to make a lot of changes, even in a very short period of time between now and next year. These are probably going to be changes to yourself. The Magician can represent reinvention or reinventing yourself in some way. And I feel like that's exactly what you need with that Ace of Wands. Again, you're letting, an old establishment is crumbling and you are establishing something new in your life. And, they're connected here, so that's what I would do. I always pull the card that he's pointing to. We're going to say it's this one right here. It says Lion. It says strength and success. Yes. So definitely reinventing yourself is going to be the thing that brings you the most success. I also feel like focus, being focused on these changes that you want to make or being focused on the things that you want to create in your life is going to help the most. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the Lovers. Again, I feel that the love could be coming between, over the next few months, we'll say, and there definitely could be a new love connection that's forming up for you. I feel like this will, of course, be like a true companion. Someone, I think it's something that's going to be much more supportive, someone who really wants to see you succeed, and, someone who does that. You have that Page of Cups in your foundation, like literally saying that if you are attracting a person, that they will be a foundation for you. So, that's the type of person you should be looking for. Some of you might already have this in your life, like I also said. So if you already have that, that's great. This part of the reading represents all connections in your life. So, the Lovers is just a great card to get in this part of the reading. It says that you could be feeling very supported over the next few months. You could be noticing that the people in your life are more supportive with this card as well, which is great. I also would encourage you to actually pick people that challenge you. The Lovers is a card of being at a crossroads, having a choice to make. And it's like, we have two types of people in our life. We have people that want us to stay in a comfort zone, that don't want us to change. And then we have people that want us to change, that want to lift us up and see us grow and all that other stuff. And this card said growth on it, the discovery card. So I would be focusing on those connections with people that want you to grow. I would be making sure that you are surrounding yourself with people that want you to have a breakthrough, that want you to reinvent yourself and all that other good stuff. This can also represent a divinely guided connection. So for those of you looking for love, this could be something that's more divinely guided. Next, in your future feelings, you have the Eight of Cups, which makes perfect sense. It's the only card in the tarot with an eclipse on it right here. So we are in eclipse season. The Eight of Cups, again, he is walking away from these 8 cups. Eight of Cups is kind of my card that says, do not settle. He is walking away from something. These 8 cups do provide him with something. Just like on the Ace of Wands, that castle is still there. It's like there's still something that is established in your life that probably does provide you with something, but is it really actually a limiting situation? And I feel a lot of you are being asked to, again, it's like you're unclipping yourself from some sort of security and you're clipping into like a new form of security, but that in between time is a little bit nerve wracking. He maybe is nervous, the guy on this card. He is walking into darkness. He is just hoping for a brighter future. He doesn't know if he's actually going to find fulfillment or not. He just knows that he can do more. He just knows that whatever the situation is preventing him from having everything that he wants. And so he knows he has to walk away. And, again, I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. And it's probably, just like that video I told you about, might be a little bit nerve wracking. But at the same time, I feel it'll be the thing that, probably improves your life the most. Next, in your outcome, you have the Ten of Wands. I feel good about this for the most part. The Ten of Wands, he's about to reach his home in the background here. He planted those 10 wands, and those 10 wands represent his harvest. And so, by reaching his home, he is about to have a harvest. So I feel a lot of you are about to have some sort of harvest in your life, or you're going to be creating, a harvest in your life. Or it's like you're finally harvesting the fruits of your labor here, Aries, which is good. But, I think I've said this to you before, Aries. I'm pretty sure it was you. But it's almost like what you need to realize is that, what you've been doing up until this point has been, college, And, so whatever you've been working on, in life, it has been teaching you things. It's but now it's time to, go get that job, or go get that career. And I'm speaking figuratively here. But, I feel like the Ten of Wands is saying, now it's time to get the rewards for all the hard work that you've done. But, it's you're going to have to let go of college with that Ace of Wands. You're going to have to let go of the comfort zone, the security. And I feel if you do that, that's where the success is going to come from, Aries. So I would definitely recommend doing it for sure. It's going to lead to a lot of freedom, a lot of good things like these cards say. So let's see here, Aries. Make sure to leave a like and a comment on this video. It really helps me out. I have to start asking for that, so I keep forgetting, but really appreciate it. With the Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups, you have the Ten of Pentacles. Very good reading. Ten of Pentacles is ultimate security. It is Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. It is the tree of life. And this is something that we all will work on forever. Ten of Pentacles is like building and leaving a legacy, which we don't necessarily do overnight, but, it's something we do forever. So a lot of you are being asked to, focus on the big picture. Very powerful reading here, Aries. Let's see. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Devil here. Yeah, letting go, right? Saturn retrograde. Saturn retrograded in your sign. It makes perfect sense that you would be being asked to let go of something that's controlling you in some way. And again, I think, this doesn't have to be a bad thing. It could be something as simple as you have a business, but maybe the business has plateaued and you need to do something to level up or take it to the next level. Same thing with your career. It's maybe you've reached the top of what you can do, or maybe there aren't any more growth opportunities, and the universe is asking you to kind of let go of the control or the thing that is controlling you so that you can level up. And, that's what I would do here. It's the universe is asking you to have a breakthrough. Like I said, the first word that popped into my head in this reading was breakthrough. And so I feel like that's what the universe is trying to get you to do. With the Page of Cups, you have the Page of Swords. Yeah, I feel like either someone has their eye on you already, or you have your eye on a person. And if that's true, then this could definitely be your person. Page of Swords is kind of like a card of spying. Some people say that. And so there could be a person that's spying on you. It's also a card of curiosity. We are definitely in a time of curiosity. We have Uranus and Gemini, even though Uranus will retrograde into Taurus in November. We have Pluto and Aquarius. It's an excellent time to research new ideas, new things, new ways of doing things. All that would be good. With the Two of Swords, you have the Hangman. Yeah, breakthrough energy. I feel like you're no longer stuck here, Aries. The Hangman, he's put himself in Hangman mode to gain enlightenment, but it's coming up in your past position. So it's you have gained enlightenment, or you have gained answers that you have been looking for a long time. And even the Fool says that. It's you're over prepared, or you're overdue for a big change in your life that you're about to have. But I really want to encourage Aries, as I probably have said to you before, because I think great things can come from this. With the Fool, you have the Ten of Cups. Damn, really good. You have two tens here. I love when the Ten of Pentacles and Ten of Cups come up together. Kind of represents like fortune after difficulty. It's Ten of Cups is happy home, happy family. But the two cards together can definitely represent like fortune after difficulty or big improvements. You could also be taking a leap of faith towards love. So, love could be like the missing piece of the puzzle for some of you. And this, again, if you don't necessarily have to want a person. This could be you working on something that you will love or you do love. It could be you putting the work into a project or an idea that is something that you love. With the Magician, you have the Ace of Wands again. So Ace of Wands twice going this way. Yeah, it's like you're definitely working on something new. I'm really happy to see that actually, because, this would say that you are doing it, that you are unclipping and reclipping into something that is going to bring a new level of security into your life. And it does say that you are following your inspirations, which is exactly what I would do with that Ace of Wands energy. If I was being super picky about the reading, I would say maybe the Ace of Wands is asking you to come up with creative solutions. The Ten of Wands, personally, I like the Ten of Wands, but again, he could be carrying some responsibilities that aren't his, or he could be doing things the hard way instead of, doing things the efficient way. 2025 is definitely a year of efficiency, where we need to make sure that we're doing things in the most efficient way possible. And so if you could focus on that, things could go very well for you. Can't make this up with the Lovers. You have the Magician again, and yes, we'll pull another card here. So the Magician, with the Lovers, definitely could say you're attracting love. It could also say the changes you're making is the thing that brings love into your life. And like I said, this doesn't necessarily have to be a person. It could just say that you're making a change in work or business and you're becoming more heart-based, like I said. And, that could be the thing that's bringing more love in. So we're going to pull this card. Yeah, you have the Death card in this deck here. And, this could be, it's basically just saying that, this is going to lead to a change, that you're making a big change. We see definitely, a kind of I wouldn't really call it a death. I would say it's more of a reinvention with the Magician. So, you're probably using your same skills that you have right now to reinvent something. For a lot of you, it feels like work and business. And, that could be the thing that leads to love in your life. With the Eight of Cups, you have the High Priestess. Yeah, it's like you're being intuitively led. I'm pretty sure this comes up for you all the time here, Aries, that you definitely need to trust your intuition. It seems to be a very intuitive time for you. I kind of feel it's more saying, don't doubt your intuition, don't doubt your inner guidance system. You could be being led through creativity or through inspiration, and I would trust that. You also have a lot of cards that would represent unlimited potential. Maybe not a lot, but the Beyond the Ordinary card. And the High Priestess, she has no roof over her head. So she has unlimited potential. There are no limits to what she can accomplish. The only limit are the limits that she puts on herself. And we said at the beginning of the reading that a lot of you could be working on your inner voice or, what you believe about yourself and all that other stuff. So I would definitely, really go for it at this time. I feel it's time to exceed your own expectations beyond the ordinary. It's time to, do things to break out of an ordinary life. It's time to live an extraordinary life is maybe what this is saying. Yes, with the Ten of Wands, you have the Queen of Cups. Yes. It's like instead of working hard, can you do things that fulfill your heart is what this is saying. I think that, the other thing I'm getting here, Aries, is that maybe something isn't as fulfilling as it once was. If you've been working on something here, with the Ace of Wands twice in your reading, that, it's like I don't know how to say this, but sometimes I feel in life that, basically because of the way that we are raised, I think that, society tells us you have to get a career and you have to work on that career forever and you can never leave. And that has to be the thing you want to do. But again, if you're not feeling inspired, I feel it's time for a change. You have this younger woman. It says dealings with relationships with a younger woman. I always clarify these cards, and you have this younger man. It says dealings with relationships with a younger man. So you could be meeting a person that makes you feel like a child again here, Aries, for sure, with these two cards. Can't make this one up either. You have this rose card. It says romance is in the air. So definitely a new connection coming in for those of you that want it. If you don't want it, and even if you do, again, I think the whole entire reading is saying you need to do more of the things that you love. You have this woman card, so you have a lot of people showing up in these cards. It says dealings or relationships with a woman. You have this clouds card. It says temporary problems. Yeah, so like I think we all need to be careful of people over the next like year or so. We had Mars retrograde in Leo last year into this year. We had Mercury just go retrograde in Leo this year. Next year, Jupiter will go retrograde in Leo. It's like when we have multiple retrogrades in the same time in the same sign, it calls back that energy of the original retrograde. So Mars retrograde, we always have to be careful of people, and same thing with now. So I would pay attention. You have this March card and this handshake. It says a meeting with a stranger could be important. Yeah, between now and March, I basically have said this to everyone that the time frame between now and March is very important. Eclipse season, but also we have Saturn and Neptune by the end of February will both be back in Aries, but really it kind of doesn't get going until March. So I think we are in important next 6 months are going to be very important for everyone. You have this bouquet. It says compliments from an admirer. Clearly there is love here, Aries, which looks pretty good. But I would say this looks really good, this reading. Love it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.